crochet friends, it's me, Jonah, and I just finished making a pair of these toe-up cabled crochet socks. And they are such nice socks. Everything about them is perfect, whether it's that toe section right up here in single crochet, or that beautiful and intricate cabled section, or the simplistic fashion or manner in which the heel is worked. And then you work a little more cable and then finish it off with that stretchy and classic ribbed double crochet brim. And it's a relatively easy pattern to follow and a great one to start out with if you haven't made a pair of crochet socks before, but it also throws in a few more advanced techniques, especially when referring to this gorgeous cable running across the top. And so in today's show and tell, which is sponsored by Your Inspirations, I'll be showing you how to make this single crochet down here for the toe. I'll be showing you a portion of this cable to give you an idea of how it's worked and how it crisscrosses in a continual fashion. And then I'm going to explain and show you how this heel is worked, because it's different from how you would normally work heels in crochet socks. And then of course the rib brim is pretty self-explanatory, but I will explain that more in depth as well. So grab your sock yarn, or specifically in this case, Patton's Croy sock yarn, and your very small crochet hook, and let's get started. So as you can see, it starts off here with the toe, which is what I'm going to show you the first few rounds of now. So grab your stitch marker and keep that handy. And then you're going to begin by making a magic ring. And if you're not familiar with a magic ring, or magic circle, or magic loop, there's many different terms for it. It's a way to start circular crochet projects that you then can pull tight and have a seamless center. So you start by holding the yarn in your left hand and making an X on these two fingers, and then turning it over like so, and then put your crochet hook through, grab this strand, and turn it. And then slide that off your fingers, and you have a magic loop. And then there's other ways to do it too. If I pull this one out, you can also just kind of do it like this, where you just make a loop, reach in, pull up, and go like this. So there's many different methods. But once you've made your magic ring, you're going to proceed to chain 1 and work 10 single crochets into that magic ring. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then you're going to take this strand right here, the short one that's attached to your magic ring, and then just pull it. And then just let that fall to the back. And then here's where you can see how that magic ring cinches it up in the center and keeps it nice and secure, and also makes it appear very uniform as well. So into this next spot right here, this next stitch, we're not going to slip stitch, we're not going to chain. We're just going to single crochet right into the next stitch, into the top 2 loops. Then we're going to take our stitch marker and mark this stitch as the first stitch of the round. And then into the next stitch, single crochet again, single crochet again, single crochet again. And for the second and every even round after this, it's just going to be single crochet. For the toe section, anyway. And you'll be able to see all of this in the written pattern, which I've linked to down below. So then I'm going to take out the stitch marker And now it's time for the third row, which is where you do your increases, because you do all of the increasing on the odd rows. So for the third row, you need to put 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So I'm going to do my first one, grab my marker, put it through that stitch, and I have to do another single crochet into that same spot. And then you continue putting 2 single crochets in each stitch around. And you'll notice that as you work this sock, that you'll see how the cabled pattern, once we get to that section, continues to line up on itself, and you'll find that it's a lot less difficult than you would think just by looking at it. And of course, this toe section isn't too difficult because it just involves single crochet and relatively simple pattern of increasing. So I'm back around to my marker, and this is row number 4, which means it's an even row, which means I'm only going to be putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So I'm going to unravel some more yarn from my ball, and then in the next stitch I'm going to place 1 single crochet, pick up the marker, put it back through, and continue to stitch around. Put in 1 stitch in each of these single crochets. And there, now you can see how this toe is going to continue to form, and you'll need to keep repeating the same method all the way up through round 12. But the only difference on round 12 is you're going to work the other way around by working on the wrong side of your work. And from there, it'll be time to move on to the cable pattern, and I'm going to work on a section of just the cable pattern so I can show you in depth how to work that. The cabled pattern is the next portion of the sock which I wanted to show you. So I already have this single crochet section done because this would have been the toe of your sock if we're just looking at one side of it instead of both sides. And the cable's only on one side. So the first stitch is going to be a single crochet after chaining 1. And then you're going to go 2 rows below and work a front post double crochet around the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2. And then you're going to skip the next 2 stitches on the back and work a single crochet into the next 2. And then once you've done that, your next step is to work a front post treble crochet cross. So to do that, you're going to wrap over your yarn twice, go down 2 rows or go 2 rows below, and then after skipping these 2 stitches, you're going to skip 2 more and front post treble crochet twice. And around the next stitch, and now we're going to front post treble crochet again, but this time we're going to go behind the ones we just worked and work it around each of the 2 stitches we just skipped, going around the first one first, and then wrapping around twice, going back behind and getting the second loop. Sometimes it's a little finicky and you're going to have to move it around, but you'll always find it. So there we skipped 2 stitches, so I'm going to go back and show you that again. So yarn over twice and go over a loop, pull through, and then front post treble crochet. And then go to the next stitch and do it again. And I wanted to show you guys that a couple times, as I just did, just to make sure you got it. So then that means I'm going to have to skip 4 stitches on the back. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to have to work 2 single crochets. And then go back 2 rows below and work the same double crochet method, going around the front post of that single crochet. And then on the return row, just single crochet once in each stitch. And this is how it will be for every even row of your cable pattern. So one row will be working cabled, post stitches, and other similar things. And then the other row will be just single crocheting back across. And for this portion of the sock, you'll be turning your work every single row. And that's how it is for the entirety of the sock, except for the brim and the toe. So then I'm going to turn my work again, chain 1, and put a single crochet. And now it'll be easier to find where my post stitches are 2 rows below. So I'm going to go down and work a front post double crochet around the 2 front post double crochets that are already here. So 1 and 2, and then work 2 single crochets, and then around each of the next 4 front post triple crochets crossed over, I'm going to put 1 front post double crochet. Because when you're working them crossed, you need to add a little extra length so that they have space to cross over without buckling your crochet work. So that's why you work them triple when it's going to be crossed, and just double when they're going to be standing straight, like I'm doing now. So then single crochet again, twice, and then go back down for these 2 stitches. And single crochet into the next one. And then you're going to turn your work. And like I said several times, on the way back, it's always going to be just placing 1 single crochet in each stitch across. Single crochet, and continue doing that all the way around. And then it's time to turn my work and chain 1. So for the next row, you're going to work 1 single crochet, work 2 front post double crochets 2 rows below, two single crochets, and then repeat exactly what you did for the first row. So 2 front post treble crochets around these 2 stitches, skipping these 2. And then work 2 more going behind the first stitches that you just made around these 2 stitches that are 2 rows below, and front post treble crochet each of those. And then you're going to work a single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then work 2 front post double crochets around the post of the front post double crochets 2 rows below. And then single crochet, and then on the way back it's putting 1 single crochet in each stitch. Single crochet, and continue putting 1 single crochet back and forth. And then this row is where it gets a little different. So you're going to work 1, 2 single crochets, and then you're going to work front post treble crochets around the next 4 front post stitches. So the first one, front post treble, second one, front post treble, the third one will be a front post treble, and so will the next one. Which then means you'll have to place 2 single crochets after skipping 4 on the back. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you'll have to mirror what you just did. So take these 2 post stitches and put a front post treble crochet around each of them. And then the next 2 post stitches, front post triple crochet around each of them. And then in each of these next 2 stitches, put a single crochet. So then on the return, it's going to be chain 1, and again put in 1 single crochet in each stitch. Single crochet, and continue single crocheting across. And now if you were working it on the actual sock, you would have to work all the way around for a total of 52, 56, or 60 single crochets, depending on what size you chose to make. And then this next row is a row where it actually twists over each other, and then after that it would be a repeating pattern. So you're going to put a single crochet into the first stitch and a single crochet into the second stitch. And then you're going to treble crochet around these 2 stitches, skipping the first 2 post stitches. And then you're going to wrap around twice and go behind those 2 post stitches, and then work a triple crochet around each of these post stitches from the front. Loop around, pull your hook up, and pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. And then these are both separated by 2 single crochets. And then you're going to repeat the same process for this one, except you're going to be working in front so that it crosses over to the left instead of crossing to the right. So now this one I'm going to be working in front instead of behind my prior post stitches. And this is the only spot in this pattern where you would do this. Otherwise, it's always going to be going behind. And then I'm going to follow that with 2 single crochets. And then chain 1 and put 1 single crochet in each stitch back across. And you'll find that as you work these cables, you won't need to go to the back and count how many stitches you're skipping, because you'll just kind of learn and develop a way to know where each one is. So then I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to work a single crochet into the first stitch, and then I'm going to work 2 front post stitches around each of the first ones. Treble crochets, front post triple crochets. And then I'm going to work 2 single crochets. And then I'm going to work 4 front post treble crochets around each of the next 4 stitches, completely skipping over any single crochets. So then I'm going to continue and make number 3 right here, and then number 4. And then I'm going to place a single crochet and another single crochet as well. And then 2 more post stitches. One more. And then you end it with 1 single crochet. And then all you have to do is repeat the 3rd row once more after working back in your single crochet, and that's the cabled pattern. So when you see this sock, so far I've shown you and explained how to work the heel, which is the portion right down here. Just goes right there. And then you work the cabled section, which I did and completed a second repeat, so I could show you what it looks like once you work a second repeat, because the first one ends right here, and then I worked the second one so you can see how this cable pattern actually forms. And then here's what the back looks like, so it's relatively smooth, not too many indentations. So that's the cabled pattern. And then you of course add these post stitches on the side. And then if you flip it over, you can see how you have just that single crochet backing, and then the heel, which I said I was going to explain to you, is worked by just skipping all of these stitches right here if you were just going to continually work around. And then you just make a chain right here. Do you see right there? It's in the red and then it turns into this white gray color over here. And then you skip all these stitches and then continue working your sock as normally, turning back into this cabled stitch. And then you work a classic double crochet ribbed brim, which is just front post double crochet, back post, which I've already shown you for the cabled section. But then for the heel, you come back and you just work single crochets around and around, decreasing as necessary by decreasing on this point and decreasing on this point. And then you sew it together from the inside right here, and that's all there is to it. So you'll be able to make your perfect crochet sock. And the most difficult part out of it all, other than of course the cabled pattern, is really just understanding the assembly of the sock and in the order it's made. So to go over it one last time, for both of your pairs of socks, the way that it's worked is, of course, you start from the tip right here and then work your way down to the cable, and then you work your way down here and skip over the heel, and then you come back and create the heel, which is what creates this shape. And then of course this is what your cabled section looks like, and the tip or the toe of your sock. And that is how you make these Patton's toe up cabled crochet socks. I hope that today's crochet show and tell is very helpful as you make these amazing socks. Whether it's the cable, the rib brim, the heel, every single part of this sock is something new and unique about it. And make sure to go for that free written pattern, which is linked to below in the description box. And while you're down there, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Jonah's Hands as well as Yarnspirations. Crochet away, friends.